Did you know that 80% of jobs are filled via networking, 40% of which were never even posted? So as we get older, it seems like it's harder for us to kind of play the resume game, to be able to post our resume through all of the ATS systems and so forth. We seem to feel like we're at a disadvantage and so forth. We could debate that till the cows come home. But what we have that young people do not is we have a network. We have years and years and years of friendships, colleagues, networks, and so forth. We also have the wisdom to be able to leverage that in a way and not be shy about leveraging it. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. How can we leverage our network to get a position that we love? Okay, so when I say networking, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Probably booking yourself into a large venue that's going to have lots of different people. You got to get dressed in your big girl clothes, put on actual shoes, and go out into the world, into a place that you do not know anyone. Sounds horrific. I am a high interactive, my friend. I am what would be considered an extrovert. I don't want to do that. And if you are in any way, shape, and form an introvert or the extrovert, whatever, there's like, that seems uncomfortable. So I want to talk about ways to leverage your network within your tribe, so to speak, within your circles in a comfortable way that doesn't have to put you out there. I would also argue the fact that if you go into a room cold of a large group of people, how much can you actually engage and really get to know someone in that scenario? So I actually think the smaller the situation, the better. Okay. So as I talked about last week, you got to know what you want and what you want. What is it that you're looking for and so forth. That aside, once you understand that and not going out to the world and saying, this is what I don't want, this is what I want. Here are a few things that you can do to leverage your network. So if you are not on LinkedIn, that is the first step. Not only that your name is in LinkedIn, but you have filled out your profile to the max. All of your roles, your descriptions, what you're looking for, what your location is, your contact information, and then actually go into LinkedIn and interact with the people there. So posting, commenting, and so forth. You can do this even if you're gainfully employed. You should be doing this even if you're gainfully employed. There is a setting where you can make sure that no one sees, like, it's like, oh, I have a job. I don't want someone to see that I'm updating my LinkedIn profile. There is a setting for that. Even still, it doesn't even make a difference. But that being said, have a LinkedIn profile, be active on LinkedIn. And then I want you to see who you know at places that you would be interested in working. Okay. So clearly, if you see a job posting on Indeed or on LinkedIn and you say, oh, they're from XYZ company, who do I know that is connected and so forth? So it might be someone that you already know, and you can reach out to them and just say, I see that this is a position. Could I just talk to you for a few minutes about this? Or could you pass my resume on? So on and so forth. You could then also see that there are 4 people that are connected to someone from that company. And so you are like a second or a third kind of degrees away from that person. And being okay to reach out to your colleagues and say, I see that you know someone at Harvard, and I would love to get into academia. I would love to have this position, whatever the case is. And can I speak to you? Can I send you my resume? Are you willing to, so on and so forth, to pass this along? I had a friend of, so one of Mir's elementary school friends, actually, he's been elementary, middle, and now high school. His mom reached out to me and said that she was looking for a position at said company, and I had a contact at that company and so forth. As it turns out, it was a woman that I couldn't remember how I was connected to her, but I love connecting people. And so interestingly enough, that same day that she reached out to me, the woman that she asked to talk to liked one of my posts. So I was like, okay, she knows that we're connected and so forth. So reached out. The woman was lovely, gave my friend a interview, or got her into for an interview and so forth. She has since gotten a new job, but that isn't where she got it. But LinkedIn is for linking people together. It is not Facebook for adults. It is not a job board. It is a social network for business that happens to have a job board. Okay. I want you to think about reaching out to all of your contacts. Again, anyone you're comfortable with saying, you know what, I'm looking for a new position. Do you know anyone that is looking for someone in academia? Do you have any contacts within colleges? Do you have any contacts within HR? Do you have any contacts in building management? Whatever it is that you're focusing on where you want to go, we inherently want to help. We inherently are too scared to ask for help. But remember, on the receiving end, when we ask for help, we are giving an invitation for someone to be able to feel good. So think of it in that mindset. You never know. Again, 40% of the jobs are never posted. We want to get out there and have everyone we know that we're wanting a new position so that we can be at top of mind. It's similar to when you're like, oh my gosh, I've never heard that word. And then we hear the word 4 times over the next 2 days because our subconscious has now brought it to the forefront and now it's looking for it. So when we reach out to our colleagues and friends and now it's top of mind, they're going to start looking for opportunities. Let me take a break to understand and acknowledge the fact that if you are gainfully employed right now and are looking for something, that there's this piece of like, I don't want people to know. I don't want my boss to find out that I'm looking. So choose wisely of those. Everyone understands the intricacies of this. This isn't going to be like, oh, Mary called me yesterday. Guess what? She's looking for a new job. That isn't how this works. You can ask specifically, can you keep this on the down low? I'm happy where I am. I am employed. All is well. I just want to look at for new opportunities, so on and so forth. We are leveraging universe every time we say out loud to someone, I am looking for this. And then universe and our subconscious is working in tandem to be able to start seeing opportunities that could align with what you're wanting. Do you sit on the sidelines of soccer? Do you sit on a nonprofit board? Do you volunteer at your kids' school? Do you have a group of girlfriends that you get together on the regular? That is networking. I just want to put it out there, guys. If you know anyone in this area, I would love to talk to them. Okay? This is just making conversation. This isn't a big proclamation. It isn't a big deal. It's just slipping it into conversation so that it gets to their top of mind and they are going to start seeing opportunities for you. Another way of kind of not in an introverted way is there are community groups, online groups, professional organizations, and so forth that have kind of conversation boards on LinkedIn, on Facebook, that you can come into, start to make conversation, see where people are posting, and so forth. There's lots of organizations like that. The more you volunteer and put yourself out there for people to see all of your superpowers in action, the more apt you are to be able to help those people connect the dots that you would be the best person for something. Now, we don't want to go and volunteer our life away because we do have our peace of mind, we have our current job, we have family, well, all the responsibilities. So choose wisely, but think of ways that you can show the world, are you a dynamo in finance? Are you amazing at event planning? Are you an unbelievable mentor? Find opportunities to showcase that. This plays two parts, one on your resume and in your LinkedIn profile, but also it gives those people that you're working with an opportunity to see you doing that work and are more apt to be able to pass you on to an opportunity that comes. The last one is to ask for informational interviews. This is probably the one that's kind of on the edge between, oh, I can do that. That's easy enough, to, oh, that's a little outside of my comfort zone. You're not asking anyone to hire you. You are asking. So if you are wanting to go into, I have so many of the women that I'm working with that are wanting to change. This is what I've always done, and now I want to do this instead. Okay. Think of like my son who is going into college. He thinks he knows what he wants, but he doesn't know. He has no experience in doing that. So he needs to do an internship. He needs to take classes, whatever the case is, no different for us. So, I've had clients who are like, I want to go and work into the nonprofit space. I have a lot of that because so many of the women that I work with want to make an impact now in this next chapter of their lives. And so I'm always saying, like, let's find 4 people that you can talk to that are in different size organizations across different types, from child services to hunger to fair housing. Let's just take 3 and so forth. And talk to them about, what does your day-to-day look like? What kind of staffing do you have? What types of responsibilities are required? How do you choose your candidates? How are people compensated? So on and so forth, so that you can tease out, is this in fact what I want to do? It also, any of those questions that you're like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? We get everything and we make it so much bigger than it is. And it's just a few questions. And again, people want to help. So all you're asking, you can say, do you have time for a 20-minute conversation? I promise I will keep it to 20 minutes. I have never turned down an informational interview. The more, the merrier. I want everyone to find the work that they want to be doing. Anyone who wants to go into coaching, call me. Let's talk. I'm happy to explain to you my path, how I went. I also worked in event planning. I've also been a nonprofit. I was a director of a nonprofit, all the things, right? I'm always happy to do that. And I know so many people are. Last piece. Here are a few that are over that introvert into extrovert. You could go to conferences. You could join a professional organization for the profession that you want to transition to. You can search on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Eventbrite for networking events, and you can ask specifically for referrals. Those you might not be as comfortable with. Talking on the sidelines, updating your LinkedIn, asking for informational interviews, participating in some online group discussions, and doing some volunteer work out into the world. 5 easy things you can do to leverage your network so that you are in that 80% that finds their next role by leveraging that network that you have so expertly crafted and collected over your career thus far. So remember, you have everything you need. You are amazing at what you do. You have skills and superpowers that the world needs. No one is going to just show up at your door and say, Mary, I got a position for you. Everyone needs to know that you're wanting something so that they can help you and so that you can get it. So the more you can spread that out, the more apt you will be in that 80%. I hope you have an amazing week.